I want to help you teach and inspire more people in prison so that they can prepare for success regardless of where they are, regardless of how long of time they are serving. We have a product and a service to help you. And it all starts by helping people make values-based, goal-oriented decisions. We want to show them the importance of defining success and then setting the very clear goals that will help them measure their progress in incremental stages so that their commitment to becoming more successful is self-evident. And how are we measuring success? We're measuring success by preparing people for law-abiding, contributing lives upon release. We are measuring success by making sure that the people in your institutions are self-directed and focused on seizing every opportunity to grow and participate in the programs that you offer. But if for some reason programs aren't available, we want them to learn how to create their own. And that's why we've created this rubric that we call the Straight A Guide. And the Straight A Guide really begins by ensuring that the people in your institution have the right attitude, meaning they're making 100% commitment to becoming more successful than when they came in. And that all results in them changing the way that they think, helping them develop critical thinking skills that will assist them while they're going through the journey in prison, and more importantly, when they return to society as law-abiding community contributors. And so we want them to be able to not only have the right attitude, but also have an aspiration. Help them see what is the best possible outcome from all of this, and what can they be doing to prepare. Then we've got to help them understand that the burden is on them. They have got to take the action steps that will lead them from where they are to grow in incremental stages. And then we want them to develop their own accountability metrics. We want them to not participate in your program simply to get a certificate, but rather because they recognize this as a roadmap to begin building a better life. We want them to keep their head in the game by being aware of all of the opportunities that are around them that they can seize and use to grow. We want them to be authentic. And so we have modules on these very specific subject matters that will help them show that they're not just talking about wanting to prepare for success, they're actually doing it. In order to do that, we need them to learn how to celebrate every achievement, no matter how small, because it's those little achievements that put them in the pathway for better opportunities later. And then, of course, we want them to express appreciation for the blessings that have come their way, including the courses that all of you offer inside of your institutions. But we need to really begin with an intake exam. And so we've created an intake exam for you that just gets us a sense of where are the people when they come into your classroom, when they come into your control group. Do they know how to define success? This intake exam will kind of get an assessment of where they are at this stage. Do they know what they've been doing over the past week, and does that reflect a commitment to success? If they can articulate it, that's a good sign. If they can't, not so much. We need to work on that. 3, we want them to be able to identify the opportunities that they're pursuing and that are going to open up as the direct result of the pathway that they are engineering. We want them to buy in to this concept that they have the ability to improve the outcome of their life. We want them to understand how the market will value their efforts. They're preparing a package and a roadmap or a resume that will help them convince a marketplace, whether it's a case manager in the institution, whether it's a probation officer, whether it's a future employer, whether it is somebody with whom they're going to do business or something along those lines. We want them to be able to articulate that. And then finally, we want them to understand that a pathway to success is a process. And a process is scientific in nature, meaning we have to take steps in incremental stages. We can't jump 2 or 3 or 4 steps ahead. We've got to go through the stages, and then it's repeatable. And so we've created this entire series of courses around this concept that each one of these courses will result in them going through an assessment that's demonstrating how they're advancing along the line, along this pathway. And so it all begins with a module on values. These modules are 1 to 2 hours in length, and it doesn't matter which one of the modules you choose, which one of the courses you choose, They will all follow this 10-point rubric where we will ask them to define success and talk about what does it mean to them. So we want them to be thinking in terms of both the short term and the long term, and we want to know what their objectives are in their own words. Then we want them to understand this concept of goals. Goals, of course, should be very specific. They should be measurable. They should be action-oriented. They should be realistic, something that they can achieve, and it should be time-bound, that it doesn't go on forever. Either they hit the goal or they do not. And we want them to be able to articulate their goals in such a manner that it reflects their commitment to success. We want them pursuing it with the right attitude, which is 100% commitment to success, not as I define it or you define it or somebody else defines it, but as they've defined it with their values and goals. We want them to be able to articulate how their attitude is going to reflect their behavior in prison, their daily choices. And so we create a module to help them along those lines. We want them to know about this importance of seeing where they are going to be in the months, years, decades ahead. Regardless of how long they are with you, they can begin a pathway, just like you and I can, to put themselves on the road for a better life. But none of this happens if they don't take the incremental action steps. So we want to show them how their action steps really relate to the opportunities that are going to open for them in the future. But again, accountability. It's very important for them to be able to measure their daily progress. Are they moving toward the goals? Are they moving toward success as they've defined it? Or are they making excuses? We want people to be extremely deliberate. That is the pathway that we have found to be effective in getting people ready for the challenges that will follow them once they go home. So we want them to always have their head in the game. There are opportunities around them. You know it. I know it. I know it because I was in that same environment. And so I know what does it take to be growing inside of an institution where we're separated from the people we love and the people who love us. We have got to be aware of what opportunities we can seize. And if we're doing that, the world becomes aware of us and aware of our commitment to become more successful. And that's how we really demonstrate our authenticity. We have got to be for real. We can't talk about wanting to prepare for success. We have got to be able to show it. And we should be able to respond to questions about our criminal background in a manner that is assertive and helps us overcome the barriers that many people face. So we want to teach them how to do that. And then we want them to celebrate every achievement. I am going to go down with them in a place where I started, inside of a prison or a jail, and teach them, hey, these are the strategies that work for me to begin building my own ladder, climbing every step out, knowing that every single step is leading me closer to the next opportunity. And the same thing goes for them. So we are going to show them how to do it in this module on celebrating achievement. And then we want them, of course, to become better citizens. And so we want them to show appreciation, to recognize the commitment that you and your team are making to make these resources available to them so that they can become more successful. And this module is going to help them do that. And ultimately, then we're going to conclude each one of these 10-part courses with an exit exam that is going to be self-directed. You can't really see it so well, I know, on this module here, so I've created a bigger spreadsheet that shows you what it is. It's effectively a 10-point scale that somebody can fill in the blanks of where they stand on values, on goals, on attitude. And to get the highest level, they're going to have to score really above a 70%. But in order to be exceptionally well prepared, they've got to get in this 90% percentile rank. And we give them all of these different modules here, kind of let them answer, where are they on this quadrant? Where are they on this grid? What steps do they need to take to prepare? What can we do today to position ourselves for a better life upon release? My name is Michael Santos, and I'm with Prison Professors. I've made a pattern of creating content like this to help administrators really connect with the people who are inside of your institutions. And we do it through these video programs that always include an entrance exam and an exit exam, and then real life interviews with business leaders who hire formerly incarcerated people, who talk about what do they expect, or with formerly incarcerated people who've emerged successfully, how did their decisions in prison really influence what they became in the months, years, decades ahead. I will be always open and transparent through these videos, and I will show them this is the life that I have built after 26 years in prison because of the decisions I began making inside of a jail and inside of prison while I was going through 9,500 days in there. So I really believe that resonates, or it connects with the people in your institutions, because they're saying, wow, that guy was in prison for 26 years and he came back strong. There must be a recipe that I can follow. So we want to give you that systemic pathway along with real accountability metrics that you can use to teach and inspire more people. And we do it in a really low-cost way, either with interactive programs where I can participate with Zoom webinars, or just in a low-cost way with just getting the videos and the accompanying coursework. We've got a series of books that are like supplemental materials that will be good for you. And we also have interactive programs, as I said, that we could participate on with webinars. My name is Michael Santos, easy to reach at team@prisonprofessors.com. You can call also my cell at 949-205-6056, and I do hope to be working with you. Thank you.